Rotary。它快到了，快到了。Rachel。上面也有人。没有 science 跟 physics，biology。
Good evening. My name is Russell White, Principal of International School. I'm proud to welcome our graduating seniors, faculty, family, and friends to the International School commencement ceremony for the class of 2023. Please stand for the national anthem performed by the International School Jazz Choir and directed by John Long.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Koo, and it has been an honor serving as your class president for these past 7 years. And it is my pleasure to be greeting you all here today at graduation. And now I would finally like to ask the faculty and audience members to take their seats. My class of 2023. And now I would like to ask the class of 2023 to take their seats. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. So good evening and welcome again to our commencement to celebrate and honor the class of 2023. Seniors, it truly is a pleasure to be here tonight to share this special evening with you. Congratulations on your accomplishments. Not only have you embraced the challenge of international school, but you've done so through the most difficult of situations in your high school careers. This is an accomplished class. Some of these accomplishments you can see from the external measures, such as the future destinations and the plans ahead for our students, or in the list of accomplishments that were read in the awards assembly last week. Some of the accomplishments may not be reflected in these measures, though, but are equally important. Watching these students over the last few years in a number of different settings and listening to them share stories about each other the last few days, you get a sense of the uniqueness and depth of each individual student and what they bring to those around them. This is a group of students who actually are quite interesting. And the more I learn, the more I want to learn about them. Tonight, you're going to hear advice and words of wisdom from a number of people who, quite frankly, are probably smarter than me and are more eloquent. And so I'm going to keep my words brief. In fact, I actually thought I probably wouldn't say much, but I can't resist one thought. And my one humble thought, if I could leave you with anything, is this: accomplishments without character are empty. You see, the journey matters more than the destination. The way you show up in spaces, to borrow a phrase from this town last night, matters more than what you get from those experiences. Who you are ultimately matters more than what you do. How you treat others with kindness, love, respect matters. So to the family and friends who are here tonight, we are all grateful for the support that you provided these students over the years. And we're grateful that you're able to join us tonight to celebrate. And so now, it's my pleasure to introduce our student speakers for tonight, Tyler Lombardo, Mackenzie Toomey.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty members, proud parents, and my fellow graduating class of 2023.
Tonight, we graduate. After many years together, it is finally time to leave international school behind. Before we move into the next chapter of our lives, let us take some time to reflect on our years at IS.
We all began our IS careers with the standard path available to us, whether it was Taiyi or Chinook, or even if you came to international as a high schooler, we all diverted from the beaten path. And my road to international was also unique, as I had a parent working at the school when I was in 5th grade. I remember my parents giving me the choice of where I could go, but advocating for international above other options.
And while I didn't exactly have a choice, my parents also told me how amazing IS would be. They sung the praises of international's academic rigor and how remarkably the school would prepare me for college. I remember being scared about having to walk through the hallways with giant high schoolers, and I remember how excited I was when I realized I would be fluent in French after 7 years here.
I was also excited about the French, but I found it a little bit more difficult after quarantine and Google Translate.
Right, let's just ask Madame Gémon. For the past 13 years, school has been the place we come to learn. From the alphabet and numbers, to spelling bees and science fairs, to AP World History and Computer Science, we absorbed hundreds of hours of knowledge. International school has only extended our knowledge further. In AP Chem, we learned the trends of the periodic table, and throughout our many years of French, we learned
Some learned.
how to conjugate verbs.
Into like 18 different tenses.
Our classes constantly challenged us, pushing us farther and faster than we would have ever been pushed at any other school.
International has taught us how to be students. The challenges we faced, whether Mad Max or the AP Chem final, taught us how to be successful in whatever we set out to do.
When I look back at my international school education, I see that we learned how to think. We learned how to plan ahead. We learned how to balance, how to juggle, and how to communicate. The most important knowledge we learned came from each other and from ourselves.
Not only did we learn how to be students, but we learned how to be people. Now, I may not remember every single empire that took over Afro-Eurasia in the last 2,000 years, but I did eventually learn how to ask for help.
Romans, Byzantine, Ottomans, and Persians, there's 4.
Major point.
The academic challenges we faced taught us how to persevere,
From the sleepless nights we spent working on projects,
to Saturday afternoons spent preparing for AP tests. We persisted. Although we came from different backgrounds, to be here, we all share the same identity of being an international school student. We work hard, we persevere, we all have goals and are willing to do what needs to be done to achieve them.
despite International being known for its academic rigor, what has resonated with me the most is the community at International. My dad, after working at many different schools over the years, told me there was not a single one like IS, and he was absolutely right. And though you all represent some of our generation's brightest minds, you would struggle to find a community as strong as ours.
Never have I felt more welcome in a place than by my classmates and by my teachers. Each day, I knew I could look forward to Kenny, who always had something witty up his sleeve,
Janet Town and her constant smile.
Raymond's kindness and loyalty to his friends,
Wesley's hellos in the hallways as he greets every single student who passes his class by name.
International draws within and around itself some of the most incredible people I have ever met. It draws in Ryan Lee, who could run for miles at a sprint.
Rachel Key, who sight reads an entire song so Joanne can conduct while she plays the piano.
Should we keep going?
Absolutely. Dylan Neary, the most generous individual I have ever met.
Marcus Chow, the most creative mind I've ever seen.
Kelsey Wong, who needs no preparation to debate the best U.S. president ad nauseum.
Isaac Wu, who is the most down-to-earth man.
Margie McKnight, who drives the coolest truck I've ever seen.
Mary Schwab here, who I'm pretty sure is going to be president one day.
As much as it is a nerdy international school thing to say, our academics brought us together. We spent years working in pairs, on teams, and in table groups over assignments, essays, and projects. Collaborating and bonding over a shared goal. We all went home during quarantine, and we all couldn't wait to get back together again. Together, we mourned colleges that would have been lucky to have us, and together, we celebrated our final decisions. We grew up with each other. We were shaped by each other. There is no place like International, and I am absolutely filled with pride that I have been able to call myself not only an international student, and soon to be alum, but a member of the class of 2023.
This fall, when we set off to our next adventures, whether it be college, military training, or a gap year to travel, I am confident International has prepared us for the world.
When taking on our next environment, we have the incredible opportunity to learn more about ourselves. We will take the lessons we learned during our time at IS and carry them to the next chapter. We get to use what we already know to go on to make more memories and expand our horizons further.
I don't know what college will be like, or what my life will look like in just 3 months. For most of us, this will be the first big change of our lives.
We are all on the precipice of freedom like nothing we have experienced. We will, for the first time, be in charge. We decide what we want to do, and I'm sure for many, that will mean many, many late nights.
And hopefully, despite this freedom, we will have the wisdom to be sleeping because we have class the next day at 8 a.m.
And the wisdom to remember that B's and C's get degrees.
We thought it would be helpful to share some advice for how to be successful in these next 4 years.
Get to know your professors. Part of the reason we are so successful at IS is because we have such a tight-knit community. A lot of that is lost in college, but if you know your professors, I'm sure they'll be more lenient and you'll do better in the classes.
Find an organization system that works for you. College isn't going to be like high school, and you'll find yourself quickly falling behind if you don't find any support.
Or get a Mackenzie like who will do those things for you.
I'm not going to be there at Oregon, Tyler.
The idea here is balance. I recognize you're all international kids and studying takes up a lot of what you do. But never again will we have the freedom like that in the next few years. Life moves pretty fast, so be sure to take advantage of it.
You'll need to study. so study hard.
Our bodies will never be this young again, so we use them.
Don't forget to learn everything else college can teach you outside of a degree.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Pay attention, and that means outside of class.
Take breaks.
Remember where you came from.
My last piece of advice, it's so much better to do the work before it's due date. Just figure out how to do that.
One of my good friends always says, you get out of life what you put into it. Think carefully about what you are putting into your life.
And if you're going to remember anything from IS, remember playing volleyball at high school retreat. Remember senior takeover. Remember just barely passing the test you thought you had failed.
Remember being a CEO of robotics and racing to Azell's during lunch. Remember the movie days after orchestra, band, and choir concerts. And remember the late nights spent cramming for AP tests. Remember the relief of your teachers excusing that late assignment.
Remember your parents packing their lunch and your little sibling in the passenger seat.
Before we end, we cannot express enough thanks to the teachers and staff who have made our international school experience what it is. Thank you for your patience while we were rambunctious little middle schoolers.
And while we were sleep-deprived high schoolers.
Thank you for your dedication to making sure we didn't fall behind during quarantine. Thank you for your support during the heat of APs when our plates couldn't have been more full.
And most importantly, thank you for being people we can talk to. We feel so lucky to have shared the hallways and classrooms with you. Your lessons, your mentorship, and your friendship will stay with us forever.
International has been a place where we learned how to be students, how to be people. And though we came from different backgrounds, our paths have crossed, and International has irrevocably linked us together in a million ways.
This community, our community, will be behind us as we embrace our futures with hope, courage, and enthusiasm.
Congratulations to the class of 2023.